What's up, Michigan? Welcome back to the best high school football show on the planet. You get the point, along with our friends from Valley Sports Detroit. Welcome to State Champs Extra Point. I'm Lorne Plant, joined, of course, by Cariel and Devin Gardner. Well, we are into the meat of the football season. Sydney, your impressions thus far?
I cannot believe it. We're already heading into, like you said, the meat of football season. It is flying by. But after last week's games, I don't want to spoil what we're going to talk about to start off, but that game of the week last week with Rochester-Adams and Clarkston, I think we're really starting to see who's going to come out on top in these different conferences and everything. Devin, what do you think?
I mean, I thought it was fun. High school football, I said it last week, it's in a very good place and with a lot of talented players, and I can't wait to dive into it.
Well, this week I think teams are really going to show their identity out there. And so we're going to get into our takeaways right now, sponsored by Figer Law. Lorne, we will start with you. Detroit Catholic Central beats DeWitt in overtime. A wild finish in this one. DeWitt actually tied the game up with, I think, 18 seconds left. So thinking maybe they had momentum, but Catholic Central getting the job done, handing DeWitt their first loss of the season. What did you think of that matchup?
So this one played at the place they called the Elm. Of course, this was something I was really looking forward to when we saw the schedule at the beginning of the season, and of course, it didn't disappoint. 45-38, the Shamrocks get the dub in overtime. CC running back Spencer Lyons. And Spencer with 3 rushing touchdowns, just 4 Division I offers currently for that young man. Expect his stock to rise. Back-to-back weeks, CC scoring 40-plus points and against 2 top 20 teams in Davison and DeWitt. So that's impressive. Braden Corser with the game-winning sack in OT to seal victory for the Shamrocks. Good game by DeWitt. Remember, this is a Division III team, stepping up to play Division I on the road. They have good wins over Portland and Hazlitt coming into this one. Never give up attitude for DeWitt, so I always love watching them play. They've got undefeated East Lansing this week, so that is going to be a chore. EL's debuting their new turf, so it's Lynn Adams Stadium, since we're referencing the stadiums, but that's going to be a big CAAC Blue matchup. CC has a crossover against UD Jesuit before they meet Brother Rice a week from Friday.
Those are some really good matchups coming up, and we teased this at the top of the show. We got to get right into this one. Devin, Clarkston beat Rochester-Adams 45-35. Yes. I think one name says it all.
Ethan Clark, oh mercy!
I mean, Ethan Clark, yet again, just continues to dominate and show how talented he is. Over 200 yards rushing. Over 200 yards rushing against an extremely talented team in Rochester-Adams. And one takeaway we already knew about Ethan Clark, and we knew about Parker Pico, but I think I want to talk about him a little more. Parker Pico's real. He is, he's going to play baseball, and for me, I'm a little biased. I'm a football player. You don't always see baseball players as these talented athletes. He is amazing. I'm talking running the ball. He's able to throw the ball down the field as well, but I was really impressed with him and that Rochester team. But that's a super impressive win for Clarkston. And then they move to West Bloomfield. It's like test after test after test, right? Southfield. Then you got the state championship runner-up in Division I. And now you got West Bloomfield, where a lot of people are saying, blame Lauren, of course. A lot of people are saying that West Bloomfield is the best team in the state. And so I'm really excited. Can Ethan Clark, that offensive line, continue to just move people and weigh on people? I can't wait to see it. But Ethan Clark was exceptional yet again, and that's a huge win for Clarkston.
Yeah, and on a note for Ethan Clark, he surpassed 3,000 career yards, which is a record at Clarkston. So that's awesome there. And you said it a little bit, but you have to give a shout out to that offensive line for letting him have those holes, giving him those holes to get the job done.
Led by Cole Dellinger. And when you have a Dellinger on your team, you're going to know you're going to get some rushing yards. But a lot of that was done once he gets to the second level, right? He gets to the line of scrimmage, obviously. Cole Dellinger is going to move people. But once he gets to the second level, he's giving a 1-2 shake. He's bursting and finishing through the goal line. His speed this year, his wiggle, his ability to really make things happen has been special.
So much Wolf love this week. You will hear more about Clarkston players in the Anvil and the Mr. Football contest, so stay tuned.
Well, we've seen some close games, which may cause some rumblings in the rankings here. So it's time for our top 20 rankings, sponsored by ALTA Equipment Company. And in the top 5, with Clarkston's win, they moved up from number 13 to number 5. How about that? So De La Salle stays at number 1. Coming in number 2, West Bloomfield. Number 3, Belleville. They moved up from 4. Coming in at 4, King moved up from 5, and then that brings Clarkston in at number 5. So those are just the top 5, and you can see on your screen all 20 of the rankings. So Lauren, we'll start with you and your locked-in team, Chippewa Valley, who improved to 3-0 and stays at number 7.
Yeah, don't look now. Chippewa Valley undefeated, 3-0. Sitting pretty at number 7, really locked in on both sides of the ball. This is a team outscoring their opponents 95-30 over their first 3 games, and no cupcakes either. I mean, Detroit Catholic Central, obviously we're talking about on a surge, and Lance Cruz and Utica Eisenhower last week, so good on them. Let me give you one to watch. That is Lapeer jumping into the top 20 at number 20. One of the toughest teams, really. And anybody who knows this, who follows high school football, knows if you've got Lapeer on your schedule, you better practice hard for the week because you're going to be sore the next day. Lapeer gets into the top 20. They gave Ann Arbor Huron a wake-up call in week 1 at the Big House. 32-2 was that score. Last 2 weeks, 112 points scored, including 56 against the defending Division II state finalist Traverse City Central, and then another 56 last week over Saginaw Arthur Hill. And I expect them to run the table all the way to week 8 when they take on Clarkston, who we've been talking about already on this program. So let's go. And one other quick who to watch. How about in the NFL, Lansing Catholic's own Cooper Rush getting the call to replace Dak Prescott after he goes down with a thumb injury? It's rush hour for America's team.
It's rush hour. Good one.
That was great. That was great. It is rush hour.
That's good. But yeah, Lapeer and their head coach Mike Smith hoping to keep this one going. We love giving our Mid-Michigan teams some love there. So Devin, your locked-in team, we got West Bloomfield, who's been consistent the last few weeks, staying at number 2 in our top 20 rankings. What do you think of this Lakers team?
West Bloomfield, I mean, what can you say? They're the one team that scores a lot of offense that also plays really, really good defense. They got defensive Division I football players flying all around the field. I think they're going to be very, very tough to beat. They're going to have an exciting test. We've talked about it against Clarkston coming up. I am super excited to see what that game yields because those two teams both putting up a lot of points in different ways, obviously. West Bloomfield through the air and then Clarkston on the ground. That's going to be a huge matchup to watch. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I think we are looking forward to that one. And one team to watch right now, Macomb, Dakota, who jumped from number 17 to number 15 in our rankings. But remember back in week 1, they were number 19. Yeah. So slowly creeping their way up here.
Yeah, I mean, they're the biggest school in the state of Michigan, but they seem like the little engine that could. From 19 to 17 and now at 15. Owen Copart, I think, is one of the reasons why he is a talented receiver. And even if he doesn't get the stats, he doesn't get the ball thrown to him, he's a problem. You have to double him. I saw the game against Brother Rice, and he was drawing pass interference calls and getting them down the field without ever catching the ball. I mean, it was cool to watch. And so they need to keep feeding him and keep massaging that relationship with that quarterback and Copart. And I think they're going to be good and continue to move on up.
That's right. Moving on up.
Yes,
we're singing now. We're singing. We're waking you guys up with some songs. But we will definitely see what teams continue to make waves in the top 20
They got Deuce
rankings.
Knight. Andrew Knight this week. Sterling Heights Stevenson. The young freshman. What can he do against the old Dakota?
And that red matchup's always.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
Every week
good.
it seems like the young freshman continues to get better. So we'll check in back on that next week as well and see who's moved up or who's moved down in our rankings.
All right, people, joining me now, Sean Belizean. You know what time it is. It's time to update the Hungry Howies Mr. Football race. And right now, we're making a change. And you're going to see this happen throughout the season. And this is no fault of this young superstar's ability or what he will do later on. But right now, Nick Marsh, Megatron at River Rouge, unfortunately, has only played one game. Doesn't have the stats yet to stay in the Mr. Football race. He can play his way back in. A gentleman who has played his way in, you could call him the Man of Steel. He might be Clark Kent, Ethan Clark from the Clarkston Wolves.
Well, and Lauren, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, if I sound like a broken record, there's a reason why I sound like a broken record. We say this every single year. If your guy isn't on the list early, he has a chance to play his way on. and play his way on is exactly what Ethan Clark did. Look, this kid was outstanding last year. I think everybody knew that he was one of the best running backs out there in the very tough OAA. He's going next level this year. We could not ignore what he did last week. 244 yards, 4 scores in Clarkston's 45-35 win over a very good Rochester-Adams team. Clarkston is always a team to keep their eye on, and this young man is leading the way for this club. Oh, by the way, committed to Princeton, got a bright future, and it isn't over yet.
That's right, going to the Ivy League. And again, we've been talking about Ethan Clark for years here on this program. We're glad that he's in the Mr. Football race. And I do want to tell you that we have made an adjustment in the voting in Mr. Football. So what you do, you go to statechampsnetwork.com, you click on the Hungry Howies Mr. Football banner, you go there. You used to have to go through the process, put in your email and all of that. We just said, forget all that. Let's just make it super easy. Pick your guy, hit the vote tab. You can do it every couple of minutes and get there, get out, vote for your guy. Remember, the leading vote getter can never be removed. So do it often at statechampsnetwork.com. We'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Laura Remus with DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, and today on Game Changers, we're going to talk about athlete readiness testing. One of the hottest topics in sports performance is load monitoring. Load monitor training is being utilized for athletes on a day-to-day basis to determine how hard they should train or practice to help optimize their performance and prevent injury. So how can I, as a high school athlete, do load monitoring? Well, here are 3 simple tests. Hi, I'm here with Robbie from Notre Dame Prep High School, who plays basketball and soccer. He's here to demonstrate the first load monitoring test, grip strength. Take a grip master, put it in your hand. Squeeze it all the way until both ends touch. Then open it back up and repeat it. See how many times you can do that, and then record what that strength is. Each day, come back and retest yourself. If you drop by 10% your performance, can't squeeze it as many times by 10%, then you need to decrease your load, decrease the amount of training you're doing that day or the intensity of your practice. I'm here with Robbie again to demonstrate the second load monitoring test, the vertical jump. Start by standing and performing a maximum vertical jump. Repeat it. One more jump for the third. Record the best vertical jump. Do this on a daily basis. If you notice a 10% or more drop in performance, you know the load is too excessive and either practice and or your training needs to be adjusted. I'm here with Owen from Notre Dame Prep High School, who plays soccer. Owen's going to demonstrate the third load monitoring test, the 10-yard sprint. Set up so you're ready to time a 10-yard sprint. Go. Repeat this 10-yard sprint test 3 times. If your performance decreases by 5% from day to day from your best results, then you need to adjust your training and or your practices to help prevent injury and optimize your performance. For more sports performance tips or to make an appointment with a DMC physical therapist or sports medicine physician, visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
All right, here we go. Time to get into an update in this week's State Champs Anvil Award competition presented by Hungry Howies. And it's always fun when we get to have the coach, Tim Beckler, here to break it down. And Coach, we're dealing with a legend in the way of a family that is all about football. when you talk about the gentleman we're talking about today. So when you talk about his brother, Garrett Dellinger, he is somebody we talked about, of course, was in our Anvil Award competition a couple of years back, somebody who started as a freshman at LSU, which is no joke. And so he is continuing, but his brother is the next in line, and he is one who is already off to a tremendous season. We've talked about Clarkston football on this program and the way they're playing right now. Well, one of their anchors is a young man named Cole Dellinger. I call him IHOP because he's all about pancakes.
Yes, he is. 6'4", 280 pounds, committed to Michigan State. Numerous other offers, obviously. When I watch film, tremendous upper body strength, super strong young man, and he is very aggressive. He's got really good feet, he has great leg drive, and he likes to finish, but what's really good about him is his initial punch and hand placement. He's right in there in the armpits, and he's grabbing cloth. And he likes to toss guys down with it. And, you know, is it holding? Technically, yeah, it's holding. But if you're a ref out there,
that's right.
Unless they see a shirt stretching or an arm coming up, it's not holding. The ref just sees you getting slammed on your back.
Right, quick leverage too, so that they're going down fast.
And he's very, very strong and very good at that. And then same with pass blocking. He's got great posture, first of all, and he's got great feet. And again, he's aggressive. He wants to get pancakes while he's pass prone as well. And again, he'll throw guys. He won't sit there and dance with you. He'll be inside there and he will throw you down. And again, it's not holding. If you don't make him stretch your shirt and you throw that arm up to show the ref. And yeah, you're just getting pancaked.
All right, so good luck to Cole and where Clarkston goes the rest of the season, and of course, at Michigan State. Coach Beckler is a high school coach, Hall of Famer. Of course, he spent many, many years on the Canton sidelines, and we appreciate his time each and every week. And you know, we want you to vote in the Anvil Award competition. And so we've made it easier. Here's what you do. You go to statechampsnetwork.com, click on the Anvil Award banner. You're going to see the top 10 candidates. We haven't really had any shakeups yet, but that could happen at any time. We want you to vote for your candidate. All you need to do is click on your guy and click the vote button. No longer having to do the registration with the email. We want to get these vote numbers up. We want to see who's supporting their guy. And remember, the leading vote getter can never be removed. So do it often at statechampsnetwork.com. We'll see you next week.
Well, we've got some big games coming up this week, so let's check out and preview some of the big games we've got that we're going to be at. This is sponsored by Menards, and we're going to start off with Thursday night's game, a charter school football battle between Detroit Voyager and Leadership Academy. Both teams head into this one 3-0. We got Carlton Airport at Grosse Ile. Another undefeated 3-0 battle there. Marine City at St. Clair Shores South Lake. Brother Rice at De La Salle. Brother Rice 1-2 taking on an undefeated De La Salle team. That's at Wayne State. That'll be a tough one there. I'll be at that one, so I'll let you guys know how that one unfolds. Devin, this is going to be one of the biggest games. We've got number 5 Clarkston at number 2 West Bloomfield.
This could decide the OAA Red.
Oh, without question. And sometimes you think like, oh, this is the test for Clarkston. Well, is it? You know, they had Southfield already. Then they had that talented team in Rochester-Adams. And it's like they're going through the gauntlet right now. And I'm just telling you, at the beginning of the season, I got a chance to talk with Cole Dellinger. And I'm like, man, you're going through a real gauntlet to start the season. You're head coach, first time as a head coach. I mean, you could start the season off 0-4, 0-5, you know, and they have come out on the other side shining. And I'm excited for this matchup because you got two different styles. You got the running of Ethan Clark behind Cole Dellinger, and then you got the passing game. The receiver, Samaj Morgan, going to the University of Michigan, is about as talented a receiver the state has ever seen. He's not the biggest guy in stature, but he reminds me of Jeremy Gallen that I used to play with at the University of Michigan, where he is making plays above his head. He's running past people. He's got double move. He's got tough catch, combat catch, right? Catches where you're getting hit at the same time. He's extremely talented, and he has a nice offensive lineman to block for his quarterback to make sure he can get him the ball. So that's an interesting matchup. Clarkston thinks they very well could be undefeated as well. A close loss to Davidson in the opening weekend, and since then they've been rolling.
Right, and this is going to be another tough battle on the road. Yeah. So that, you know, road games aren't easy. They aren't easy as
I said Davidson was the little engine that could. Maybe it's Clarkston. Chugga, 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 chugga. Toot, toot.
I have a feeling we're going to bring this one back in a couple of weeks.
It's a good toot.
This is going to be a playback one.
Yeah.
Lord, can we hear that again one more time? Bring it back real quick.
Toot, toot. That's a good toot.
Yep.
Little toot toot.
There's the meme right there, guys.
That was a good toot. Okay. Lord.
Lauren is so embarrassed by us. these young kids are just crazy.
He's with it. You
He's
heard
with
that.
it. I love it. I love it.
You heard it here first.
I'm their age, by the way.
Moving on.
All right, moving on to more games we need to watch out for this week. Lauren, who you got?
All right, so something that we talked about a few weeks ago, I was looking up this matchup as one that really to pay attention to after week one. This is something you'll be able to see highlights on the OT, the Football Fridays OT, powered by State Champs on Valley Sports. South Lyon East, unranked as of this point, but 3-0, taking on number 12, Walled Lake Western, who is also 3-0. Big matchup in the LVC. Now, through its first 3 games, South Lyon East bringing the heat. 116 points scored to just 27 points given up this season. That's it. Western, 115 points scored and only 45 total points scored against them. Their one common opponent is Walled Lake Northern, and East beat the Knights 27-8 in week 1. Warriors defeated Northern 16-12 in week 2. Walled Lake Western's Mr. Football candidate, Darius Taylor, we've talked about him on this program over the past several weeks. He is less than 300 yards away from 1,000 on the season already. On the season, and we are getting into week 4. So my guy getting it done. Tell you what, though, go to State Champs Twitter right now and watch South Lyon East head coach Jacob Topp's pregame speech. It's pretty dope, all right? And what you get from that, his theme was, let's find out, right? That's his theme. Let's find out. They think they're sweet. Let's find out. Everybody thinks they're sweet until the ball is on the ground. So let's find out. I'm ready. Let's find out. Walled Lake Western versus South Lyon East. And if East wins, let's find out who just made top 20 in the state rankings. Let's find out, and let's go.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
That doesn't want to make you run through
That's
a
good.
wall.
That's good.
Let's
I
get
want to
after
find out.
it.
Yeah, you got to
There's
watch
a lot that needs to be found out.
It's a great speech.
There's a lot that
It's
needs
a
to be
great
found out.
Yeah, a lot that needs to be found out. And another game we're going to be covering is River Rouge, 1-0, taking on Orchard Lake St. Mary's, who's 1-2. So both those teams trying to find out a lot about themselves as we head into this week. And some other notable games around the state. We'll start on the west side. Grand Rapids Union at Reeths Puffer, Holland Christian at West Catholic, and Montague at Whitehall. And then in the Lansing area, DeWitt, we talked about them at East Lansing. That's going to be a big matchup there. Mason at Williamson. Then down in the Flint area, we got Saginaw Heritage at Davison. Now up to Northern Michigan, Elk Rapids at Charlevoix. So we've got a ton of good games coming up this week.
All right, people, you know what time it is. It's our final segment. It is the Valley Sports Football Fridays Game of the Week, sponsored by Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. That's right, a long name for a great game. We're about to get into it because what week is it? It's Cass v. King week. And there is nothing that is more impressive than to get hyped up and see these two teams who really do not like each other. But it is always about who is going to be the kings of the city. And I say part one because in most oftentimes when we see these teams play again for the PSL championship. I'm going to start here just to get the conversation going because this is a really hard one to call, I think, for this season. So Cass loses their first 2 games, that crazy 2-day affair versus Southfield. So you don't really know what to make of them right out of that. Then they go and they take on one of the best programs in Indiana, Carmel High School. They lose. They beat Renaissance 66-0 last week. I still don't know where Cass is at. Number 3, Detroit King loses to the other incredible high school football team in the state of Indiana, to Warren Central. And that's week 1. No game in week 2. And then they play Mumford. They win 68-0 last week. Again, I still don't know what to take away from either team. So If you've never seen the Rivals documentary that we did on Cass versus King a couple of years ago, you got to go check it out. Go to the State Champs YouTube and watch it, because you'll get a real appreciation, not just from the teams and the rivalry and the history, but from the people, the community, everything, what this means. And again, we're talking about years and years down the road where somebody's going to bring up this particular game, whether you won or you lost, whether you were the hero or the GOAT in that particular case. So it's as intense as a high school rivalry as you'll find ever. And this is the last thing I'm going to end. Just to give you some context, here's how it's gone in the past 10 years. Okay, we're looking at the past decade. King wins in 2012. Cass wins in 2013. Cass wins in 2014. They play twice in 2015. King wins both. They play twice in 2016. Cass wins both. King wins in 2017. Cass wins in 2018. King wins in 2019. They play twice in 2020. Cass wins both. They play twice last year. King wins both. So what are we saying? Conventional wisdom says it's the technician's turn to win, but I can't call it.
No,
can't call
there's
it?
no way.
I can't
And
call it.
like every rivalry, throw the record books out the window, all of that. Devin, what do you think about this match?
That was good. That was good. I mean, when you think of a rivalry, that's what you want to see.
That's it.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
And if you go even further back, you would say, I'm pretty sure it'd be a lot of the
I could've
same.
done the last
But we
20
don't
years.
have time. You know, that's the
we
thing.
don't.
It's such a long rivalry. A lot of people around the city are saying this may be one of the best matchups of the entire rivalry. Where on one side you got Detroit King, where you have possibly, when you do your rankings in the future, Dante Moore might be the top quarterback to ever come out of the state of Michigan, right? So you got one of the top quarterbacks in the history of Michigan high school football.
Correct.
And then on the other side, a lot of people don't know about this guy just yet. In Detroit they do, but around the state, this is going to be his coming out party. Corey Sadler, who, in my opinion, this is going to be a big statement.
Yeah, I like it.
Could be the best 14-year-old, the best freshman that this state has ever seen. He is going to be wrecking havoc, not only on offense, but also on defense, receiver, running back. He's going to get reverses. He may get some time at quarterback. And then on defense, he's going to be the move guy that kind of helps their defense stay in the right place. And he adds so much speed. So, but like you said, you have no idea who either of these teams are. There's a lot of turnover at King. Right, you got Dante Moore back, but as far as all the other pieces, they've been shuffled out and moved around. And then at Cass Tech, you know that they lost in the first matchup, right? That two-day affair, like you said, and then they lose in the end. Who are these teams? We just don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Let's find out.
Yeah.
We're going to find out real soon. We're going to find out extremely soon. And like you said, it's Cass's turn. Will Cass do it? And will it be because of the young, talented Corey Sadler? It's coming. I'll be watching. Yeah. I'll be busy, but I'll be watching.
Yeah, that has been the theme of this week's episode. Let's find out. And we are going to find out about these two teams Friday night. I know the countdown is on. We are counting
can't
down
wait.
from the hours to the minutes of kickoff for this one.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. I'm not good at predictions. The voice went high again. Don't hurt anyone's feelings.
Who you got, Lauren?
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to stick with the conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
It's Cass's turn, but we'll see. Again, I just can't call it because I don't know what these two teams are. They have played so similarly in the first 3 weeks, and
It's a very hard word
King
to get
didn't
out.
even play in week 2, so maybe that has, maybe Cass is a little more in rhythm. I don't know. We're going to find out, and that's what's beauty. And you know what? You can watch it on Bally Sports Extra on this Friday at 7:30. So that's Football Fridays. That's the game of the week. Of course, following that show, you can catch me and Mickey York on this week's edition of the Football Fridays Overtime, powered by State Champs, and that also on Bally Sports Extra. But you can watch it on the State Champs Network. We'll have it on our YouTube stream. It's an hour of highlights and other good stuff, so it's a great way to cap off your Friday night spending it with State Champs.
King and Cass. The game,
Oh, I thought you were just...
it's sold out.
It's sold out
It's sold out in 3 hours.
in 3 hours.
Yeah. Who did you call it?
Huh?
Did you call it?
Call
Did you
what?
predict it? Who's winning?
Yeah, you
You
conveniently
conveniently stepped up.
I think Cass is going to win it.
Wow.
I think Cass is going to
I'm
win it.
surprised you said that.
I think Cass is going to win it.
Okay.
I know it's a surprise, but
Yeah, it
I
is.
do think Cass is going to win this one.
All right. Well, we shall see.
But the thing says, you should.
Yeah,
right?
conventional wisdom says that
conventional
it's
wisdom,
cast its turn, but we'll see. And interestingly, over the last decade, when they've played twice in the year, because I expect them to play again later, they haven't split. We're 1-1-1 and 1-1 the other. It's always a clean sweep. So we're going to see what happens. Anyway, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of State Champs Extra Point. Of course, also in partnership with our friends at Valley Sports. A lot of football to go. Week 4, this is where the rubber meets the road. The cream rises to the top. So it's going to be a big week, and we're going to talk about it next week right here on Extra Point.
State Champs Extra Point is powered by Lawrence Technological University. Visit L2athletics.com and recruit yourself. Extra Point is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud partner of the MHSAA. The Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. ALTA Equipment Company, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider with over 40 brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time. Hungry Howie's Pizza, famous for flavor. Feiger Law, nobody knows the law like we do. Menards, save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, think Ford first.